Right. Good morning, good people. My name is Hendrik Makaneta, and I'm your teacher for grade 9 maths. And of course, what is important now is to ensure that we carry on with our lesson. So the subject, as I said, is grade 9 maths. And by the end of this lesson, we should be able to, work with algebraic expressions, but we are also going to solve for x. And we are also going to revise some of the concepts that we have already learned in as far as the term 2 work is concerned. What is important is to check your operations, which will help you a great deal when we solve some of these challenges. Now, this we have done at some point back, and I'm just going to come back to it later. I just want us to move directly to the problems that the new problems that I've just added in the slides, and then we will come back to these expressions once we are done with the new ones. So without any waste of time, I'm going to give you this problem here. You can see that the Ndlovu family is traveling to the Kruger National Park on a holiday. And you can see that on the table below, we have the summary of the journey. You can see that they left home at 12 minutes after 6 in the morning, and they stopped for breakfast and petrol at 8:32. And you can see we also have the odometer, the reading in kilometers on their car. And of course, they left the breakfast stop and stopped again. They left at the petrol station at 9:18. And they stopped for a break, a toilet break at 11:34. And of course, they also left a petrol station at 11:51 until they reached Kruger Gate. And the Kruger Gate was reached at 13:32. So I hope that you are looking at the table, because we are going to use this table to answer some of the questions that will follow. Once again, this is the table consisting of the journey for the Ndlovu family. And that journey was from home to Kruger National Park. And of course, they left home at 6:12 in the morning, and they arrived at Kruger National Park at 13:32. So what I want you to do now is just to calculate, just to tell us, the following. Just calculate the length of the time the journey took in hours. You can give your answer as mixed number if you can. So you'll calculate the length of the time the journey took, but at the same time, you'll calculate the average speed of the journey correct to 1 decimal place. So the first one there, you can see that we need to calculate the length of time the journey took in hours, and then you can give your answer there in mixed numbers. And thereafter, you can calculate the average speed that the journey took, taking into cognizance the fact that we are given the kilometers. So remember, when you calculate speed, there's a correlation between speed, time, and distance. So the distance is given there. You can see the odometer on the board here. You can also see the time on the left, the first column. So first things first, I want you to calculate now the time. How long did it take for the Ndlovu family to reach their destination? How long did it take in hours to reach their destination? And of course, the next question is calculate the average speed of the journey correct to 1 decimal place. I hope that it makes sense. So basically, we just want to know how long did it take for the Ndlovu family to arrive at their destination. That is the time, and then you need to calculate now the speed of the journey correct to 1 decimal place. And let me indicate that when you look at the speed, you just ensure that you use all the kilometers there that they had. You don't assume that they've stopped. You assume that they were driving at a constant speed. So, but the first one is the time. I think that if you want to calculate the time, you can look that they left at 6 in the morning and they arrived just after 1. So just how many hours did the trip take? Just how many hours did the trip take? And of course, I can see that we are still working it out. I hope that you have a pen and a paper with you and you are busy trying to work it out. Benny, I can see you are here as well. Bugs, I hope that you are working it out. All of us, Nosipo, Pungula, Kate, and Nogu, let's carry on to solve this problem. How long did it really take in hours, the journey from home to Kruger National Park? So we need to now look at the times on the first column, and then you can use 6:12, that is in the morning there, and until 1, just after 1, 13:32, and of course just calculate the hours there. All right, I hope that you have written it down, and then we can always come back to this one if you are ready. And of course, we also have another challenge there. If 4 tins of bully beef cost 75 rands and 80 cents, how much money would 7 similar tins cost? So if 4 tins cost 75 rands and 80 cents, how much money would 7 similar tins cost? So this is another challenge which is part of our revision, and I hope that you will be able to solve that as well. And this is the second part of our question for today as we do our revision. So without any waste of time, let's go back to the first one there just to answer. I hope that you are probably done with your calculations. I hope that you are done with your calculations. Can you tell me how long did it take for the Ndlovu family to travel from home to Kruger National Park? Cleo, can I give you a chance just to try? I think that even by inspection, you can do this problem. You can solve this problem just by looking at the time that it took just to leave home right up to Kruger National Park. I'm sure you can be able to solve this. I hope that I'm audible enough. Let's give Karabo a chance now. Karabo, let me come to you. Let me go to Karabo. Karabo, I seem to be unable to unmute you from my side. Let's see. If you can, please unmute yourself. Right, without any waste of time, I'm just going to carry on. You will see that this should be very easy to calculate. If you want to know how long did it take for the journey, obviously the journey started at 6:12 in the morning, so that's 12 minutes after 6, and they reached a destination at 13:32. So all that you need to do is just to count how many hours did it take from 6 up until 1 or up until 13. So you'll count 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it will be about 7 hours when you count from 6 in the morning until 1. So that is actually 7 hours. Yes, Onika, I see your hand is raised. And then you can also look at the minutes. Yes, Onka, please go ahead.
So I was going to answer for number 2 since you answered number 1.
Oh, okay. So, right. So let me finish number 1 then so that you can go to number 2. So as I was saying, it takes around 7 hours, from 6 to 1. How do you calculate it? You just start by saying 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that is 7 hours. Now, when it comes to the minutes, you can see they left at 12 minutes after 6, and then the minutes there will be 32 on the other side. So I'm talking about the second now. It is 12 minutes of this, it's the minutes. So the first one is the hour and then the minutes. So how many minutes did it take? Then you subtract 12 from 32, and that will be 20. In other words, the trip took 7 hours and 20 minutes. That is how long it has taken for the trip from home to Kruger National Park. So thank you, Onka. I've just given you the first answer there. It will be 7 minutes and 7 hours and 20 minutes. That's how long it took. And of course, if you want to do that as a mixed number, then you can convert, you can just simply convert your 20 minutes and you convert that to an hour. Remember that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. All right. So that is 60 minutes, and then 20 minutes, obviously, you divide there, because in 60 minutes, you've got about 3 of those 20 minutes. Right. Calculate the average speed of the journey. Calculate.
Sorry, I didn't calculate this one. I calculated the one for 7 quantity.
Oh, so you did the first one?
Yes. I'm not sure what number it was. I thought it was number 2.
Number 2. Okay, if I go back to, excuse me. Right, so you've calculated the time. Yes, the time is correct. That's 7 hours and 20 minutes. That's 7 hours and 20 minutes. That will be your time, the time that it takes to travel from home to the Kruger National Park. So that's the correct one. And then, of course, the second one there, we need to calculate the average speed, that the journey took, just, correct to 1 decimal. And in order to find speed, remember that speed is equal to distance over time. So if you want to calculate speed, you'll have to have the distance as well. So now we have the time. We know that it took roughly 7 hours. So you look at the odometer there just to find the distance that it took. You can just take the odometer meaning that you take the final readings on your odometer there, and you subtract the original readings when you left home. That's how you calculate the speed, or that's how you get the distance. So 124,175 minus 123,564. Now it is clear that it took 611 kilometers from home to Kruger National Park. So now that you know the distance, you can simply divide the distance by the time. And of course, if you divide that by 7, you'll see that they were probably traveling at 87 kilometers per hour. So the car was traveling at roughly 87 kilometers per hour. So that is the speed, the average speed of the journey. So it was around 87. You simply take the distance of the trip, which you get by subtracting 123,564. You subtract that from 124,175, and that gives you 611 kilometers. Now you'll recall the formula for speed. Speed is equal to distance over time. So if you divide the distance, the 611 by 7, you will definitely get the speed of 87 kilometers per hour. So that is how we arrived at the speed. So this brings us to the conclusion of this activity. And I just want us to revise the next one, which is the
So
third.
this is the one I calculated.
Okay, so did you get 87?
Rand.
No. Oh, this is, oh, you were talking about this one.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Right, you can go ahead then. Please go ahead and share your
So I got
thoughts.
132 Rand 65 cents because I divided 4 from 75 Rand 80 cents, which gave me 18 Rand 95 cents. Then I multiplied it by 7 to give me the answer.
So your answer is?
132 Rand 65 cents.
Exactly. That's the correct answer. So if 14s of bully beef cost 75 rands and 80 cents, how much would it cost the similar tins, if there are 7 of those? Yes, I fully agree with you. That's brilliant. All that you need to do now is to divide your 75 rands and 80 cents. You divide that by 4, and of course you will get 18 rands and 95. You'll see that one tin there costs 18.95. And then if you multiply 18.95 by 7, if you multiply that by 7, you'll be able to see that the answer that you'll get will be 132 rands and 65 cents. So yes, Onka, that is the correct answer. Thank you very much indeed for answering this one. I hope that it makes sense to all the other learners as well as we carry on to revise the work of term 2. Now, I have equations here. I've got about 3 of those. The first one is 4 minus 3x is equal to -2. This is the equation that I want us to focus on, this 1.1. I want us to solve for x in that equation. So for now, forget about the last 2. Just focus on the first one. Solve for x in this equation. 4 minus 3x is equal to -2. So I hope that you have a pen with you and a paper where you can be able to solve. I see that we already have a hand there. Galaxy J7 Prime Mommy there. I don't see your name, but the phone is Galaxy J7. Please go ahead.
All right, and then sir, it's Tino, sir.
Or is it Tino again? Hi, Tino.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Tino.
Think we have to like, I need to like get my pen so I can calculate, sir.
Okay.
But I know how to solve for this.
Okay, so you know the procedure.
Yes, sir. We have to
Okay.
like.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You can tell me
We
the
have to
procedure.
like leave X alone, sir. Like we take
Exactly.
4 and then we take it to the other side, sir, and then we change the
Exactly.
sign, sir, and then it will be -2 plus, I mean -2 minus 4, sir.
Wonderful. You have to take 4. In other words, you have to transpose 4 from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. And I like the fact that you said we need to be left with X in the end. Yes, that is the whole purpose. The purpose
Yes.
of finding X is that we need to be left with X. So thanks, Tino. That's the correct procedure there that you have just outlined.
Yes,
as you get your pen and paper, I will just carry on now to see. I see that it was Tino
I
and
can
Onka.
answer like, but it's
Or you want to finish? Okay, all right. Did you get that right? Please go ahead.
Then the answer will be -2, sir. I mean 6, sir.
It will be 6. Do you
Negative
say
6, sir.
yes?
It will be -3 equals to -6, sir, and then you put the X on one side, sir, and then you take the -3 and then you divide it with -6, sir.
Yes, exactly. And what is the final answer?
And then it will be -3 divided by -6 equals to 0.5, sir.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much indeed, Tino, for taking the time and the trouble to answer this first one there. As Tino said, you can see that we now have an equation. 4 minus 3x is equal to -2. So as Tino said correctly, you transpose the 4 from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, and this becomes now negative. So obviously, the right-hand side will now be -2 minus 4, and which will give you -6. And as Tino said, again, you can just divide both sides by -3. So -6 divided by -3 will give you +2. Yes, Tino, I agree with you. That is the correct answer there. Now, I want you to, because we are now doing this as part of our revision, I said that we will come back to some of the problems. I know there were 2 more again, which we will have to look at when we have time. I just want us to now look at the exponential, x there is an exponent. You can see that we are now multiplying 3 by 3 to the power x, and this is equated to 81. So this is a different problem altogether. It came from the topic on exponents. So we need to solve for x even in this case. So I want to know what will be the value of x in this case. I still see one hand. Let me check if others can also participate. Anneke, you have been quiet for some time. Can I give you a chance maybe to try and solve for x in this case? We have 3 times 3 to the power x is equal to 81. And all that we need to do now is calculate the value of x. We need to calculate the value of x. I see that Onka is back. Let me give you a chance, Onka. Onka, please go ahead.
Sir, I'm not sure about my answer, but then I think the value of x is 3
Okay.
because 3 to the power of 3 is 27, and 27 times 3 is 81.
Exactly. That's correct. That is correct. Remember, in mathematics, there are many ways, there are different ways of solving a problem. So I like the fact that you just looked at it by inspection. You could tell that 3 to the power 3 is 27, and 27 times 3 is 81. Wonderful. That's correct. That is correct, and I give you full marks for that. And of course, there's a different way again. There's another way in which you can solve this. I don't know if anyone wants to share. Or Onka, do you want to share again if you know of a different way of doing this? Right. Onka has shown us, or just told us that, we know that 3 to the power of 3 gives us 27, because 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. And if you multiply the 27 with 3, in this case, you'll get 81. So you can balance your equation. You know that 81 will be on the left-hand side as well as the right-hand side. But alternatively, if you don't want to do it just by inspection, you can actually follow the similar method, which was done by Tino, during which you now divide both sides by 3. So this 3, to get rid of the 3 there, you need to divide both sides by 3. So if you divide both sides by 3, the left-hand side will be 3 to the power of x. And of course, you equate this to 81 over 3. So meaning that you divide 81 by 3, and 3 to the power x will be equal to 27. Remember that when you divide 81 by 3, you get 27. So the right-hand side is 27, but at the same time, we know that you can express 27 as a product of 3 times 3 times 3. In other words, 3 cubed. And at this point, you can see there's a rule which was learned during your lesson on exponents. You know that when you equate 2 powers with the same base, the exponents have to be equal as well. So in this case, the left-hand side, the base is 3, and even the right-hand side, the base is 3. Therefore, x is equal to 3. So x is 3, as Onka also said initially. So this is one other method, just to beef up the one that Onka used, the inspection one. You can also write it as follows. But if you want, from the onset, without this, you can just write 3 here, just as Onka did, because 3 to the power 3 is 27, and 27 multiplied by 3 will give us 81. So basically, x is equal to 3. Right, we are now carrying on with the next one. As part of our revision, I think that we will go to the one that we skipped first. I wanted us to look at the, just the different ways of solving these monomials. For today, I wanted just to bring the new concepts of revision, but of course, we will just end it with this activity here. Remember, excuse me, right, we are going to check the following. There's an activity, yes. We want to just evaluate these expressions once again when you are given the different values of x. And of course, once you have solved these expressions, then, you remember the other day we couldn't hear each other clearly. Now that the sound is clear, I want you to evaluate these expressions when x is 10. So x is 10, and then we can start to evaluate the value of the expressions. Let us start with the first one. If x is 10, what will be the value of the expression, 200 minus 5x. Right, we have 2 participants. Remember, participation is compulsory. So I urge you to also participate. Okay, let's go to Benny now. Benny. Right, let's go to Benny.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, can I say the answer, sir?
Yeah, of course. Or you can just tell me how do you, instead of going to the answer straight, how do you evaluate the expressions?
So x is 10, sir. So you first minus, you first minus the sum, sir, and then you times it by 10, sir.
Okay.
And then my answer is 150, sir.
150. Right, yes. So you substitute the value of 10 there in A because 5 times 10 will give you 50. And then, of course, 200 minus 50 will definitely give you 150. Yes, that's correct. And then, so once you have 200 minus 50, you'll get 150. And the second one, let's carry on. We have the 4th participant now. I see that our participation is increasing. Let's try Cleo. Cleo, please go ahead.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Cleo.
So must I do the second one?
Yes, please, B.
Okay. So we're first going to substitute the x equals 10 into our expression, which will give us 5 times 10, which is 50, plus 40, which gives us 90.
Exactly. So 5 multiplied by 10 will give you 50. And then if you add 40 there, you will get 90. So thank you very much indeed, Cleo. Right, before we go back to Onka, let's now consider Tino again. Tino, we'll come back to you, Onka. Let's give Tino a chance. Tino, the third one, C.
The third one, sir, we first work with what's in the bracket, sir, but then we have to replace x with 10, sir, but then we work with what's in the brackets first, sir.
Okay.
And then it would be 200 minus 5, sir, and then the answer will be 195, sir.
Great. So that will
And
be
then
195.
you multiply by 10, sir.
Then you multiply 195 by 10. What do you get? The final answer is?
1,950, sir.
Yes, the final answer will be 1,950. Yes, that is correct. Yes, that's correct. Then we also have 5 open bracket x plus 40.
Yes, sir.
What will be, all right, let's give another chance. I see the participation has increased. We have a number of hands now. Let's give Bugs a chance. Bugs, please go ahead. We'll come back to you, Noku.
Okay.
Bugs, please. Yeah, let's give Bugs a chance. All right, Bugs, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go ahead, Bugs. Bugs?
So, sir, yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I was like, 5, and then you exchange the x with the 10, sir, and then it's gonna be 5 open bracket 10 plus 40 close bracket, sir, and then that's yes, and then it's gonna give you 10 plus 40 is 50, and then 50 times 5 times 50 is gonna equal to 250, sir.
Yes, 5 times
Yes.
250 will give you 5 times 50 will give you 250. Yes, I fully agree with you.
Sir.
So x is 10. 10 plus 40 gives you 50. And then if you multiply 5 by 50, you'll get 250. That's correct. Now we are going to the last one before we can carry on with our lesson. And of course, I had Noted, Nogu. Yes, Nogu has noted. Can I give Nogu a chance now just to do the last one?
Sam. So
Yes,
what
Nogu.
we're gonna do is we're gonna substitute the x with 10, and then it's gonna be 40 plus 5 open bracket 10 close bracket.
Yes.
And
that's
that
correct.
gives us 90, sir.
Exactly. That will give you 90 because 5 times 10 is 50. And then, of course, if you add 50 and 40, you will definitely get 90. So yes, that's the correct answer there. Thank you very much indeed, Noku, for taking the time to answer these questions. So you can see that the first one, again, we just substitute the values of 10. This was answered by Tino. And of course, the second one as well, 5 multiplied by 10 gives you 50. And if you add 50 and 40, you get 90. And then 200 minus 5. Right, Tino was the one who answered the next one here. And then, of course, 195. If you multiply 195 by 10, if you multiply 10 by 195, you definitely get 1,950. That is the answer that you get there. And then the next bracket was 5 into x plus 40. And of course, 5 into x plus 40, the value of x is 10. If you add 10 and 40, you get 50. And Bugs was correct to say if you multiply 5 and 50, you get 250. So that was D. And then the last one was 40 plus 5x, where x is 10, and then you substitute once again, and 40 and 50 gives you 90, as Noku just said. And Noku was able to do the last one. Thank you very much once again to everyone who keeps on participating. If you didn't get a chance, I will give you another chance in the next few examples, but I just want to remind you once again that we have also spoken about the different expressions, and we have defined the expression with one term as a monomial. And we said that in this case, 3x squared will be a monomial. And of course, the expression with two terms, like 5x plus 4, that on its own, it's a binomial because it consists of only two terms. But at the same time, we've spoken about an expression with three terms, like 3x squared plus 2x plus 9. And we said that this expression is a trinomial because of the fact that it consists of three terms. And we've already done a table to demonstrate. We use x just to represent a variable. In the monomial, we say that 3 is a coefficient in this case because this is the number just next to the variable. So it's known as a coefficient. Now, in the 5x plus 4 and 3x squared plus 2x plus 9, we also have constants. You will remember that I said that 4 is a constant in this case, and 9 is also a constant. These are the values that do not change, meaning that they are not affected by the change in the value of each variable. They remain constant. Even if the variable can be 100, then the constant is the same there. It doesn't change. Now, the table here we have done already, we cannot overemphasize the importance of the table. And then, of course, we have also looked at this odometer there this afternoon, where you look at the distance and so on and so forth. The last one, of course, will be what we did not look at initially. But I would have, in fact, I would have wanted you to solve for x in this example, which we have not finished. I'm just going to show it to you now quickly. we wanted to solve for x in this case. And of course, we couldn't, we said that we'll come back to this problem. Remember, we did the first one, this was done by Tino, 1.1. And then what we did not do was 1.2 as well as 1.3. So I hope that we can be able to do this two in the remaining time of our lesson before we can close. Can we go to 1.2 once again and solve for x now? Let us find the value of x. If you can do it by inspection. If you can't, then you can divide and so on and transpose some of the values. All right, I see we have hands already. I'm sure that there are people who has already worked it out. Let's see. Can we give now Karabo? Yes, Karabo Mrake, please go ahead. Then we'll come to, there's a number here. In fact, I don't know who, there's no name, but I'll give you a chance. Let's start with Karabo. Karabo, please go ahead. Right, we seem to have lost Karabo. Let's go down to, there's a number, I'm just going to unmute you there. Oh, by the way, I did not, excuse me, I did not unmute you. Let me unmute all of you. Karabo, you can just go ahead now. I've just, you can just unmute yourself there and go ahead.
So I
Yes,
was
Karabo.
about D with the 5 bracket X plus 40 bracket. I was asking if we can use the distributive law to get the answer as well.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Remember, in mathematics, you know, there are different ways and methods that you can apply. Yes, you can apply the distributive method as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. Right, we are in 1.2 now, and of course, we are trying to solve for x. And obviously, the first step, you can divide both sides by 4. I mean, if you look at this expression here, once you divide both sides by 4, then you will be on your way to the correct answer. Right? Let's go to Benny now. Benny,
Yes, sir.
please go ahead. Do you want to answer the second one?
Yes, sir. The answer is negative 0.5.
Okay, negative 0.5. Right? Did you use a calculator or did you just do it by
I
inspection?
calculated, sir.
Okay. All right, fine. Let's test your answer now. So if you multiply 2 by half, you will get 1, and then 1 minus 1 will be 0. So did you say negative, or is it negative half? Did you just say negative half?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, great. You are correct. That is the correct answer. So negative half is correct because if you multiply 2 by negative half, you'll get negative 1. And negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. And negative 2 times 4 will give you negative 8. Yes, great. That's the correct answer. Negative half
sir.
is the correct answer for our value there. If you, the other way of doing this, you can actually divide both sides by 4. And then if you divide by 4, you'll be left with 2x minus 1. And then in the right-hand side, if you divide 8 by 4, you get 2. So the answer will be negative 2. So if you transpose the negative 1 to the right-hand side, it will change the sign. It will be positive 1. So 1 minus 2 will be a negative 1. And then once you divide negative 1 by 2, you get negative 0.5 or negative half. Yes, that's the correct answer. Thank you very much indeed. The last one quickly. Is there anyone who got the answer for the last one before we can close? Right, let's give now Cleo a chance. Do you want to try the last one? The last one? All right. We seem to have lost Cleo there. Right, Tino, do you want to try the last one now? Otherwise, we can give Benny a
Yes,
chance. Yes, Tino, as we close the last one.
So, sir, we have X's on both sides, son.
Okay.
So we first work on what's in the brackets, sir, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And then negative, 2, positive 2, minus -1, so I think.
Okay, right. Once again, Tino, you can also just do it by inspection. If you look at the expression there, maybe Benny can just close it for us. You can also do it by inspection. Benny, let me give you a chance just to close on this last one.
Sir?
Yes?
So the answer is 1, sir, because...
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
The answer is 1, because?
So because I didn't expect it, sir, but I calculated by taking all the x's to one side and all the other numbers to the other side, sir.
Yes, exactly.
So, yes, sir.
Yes, so you can actually transpose. All right, fine, finish. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so I said 2x minus 6x equals to -4x, and -3 minus 1 is equal to -4x. So I divided in both sides -4, and it gave me the answer 1, sir.
Yes, that's correct. That is correct. And also, just before we close the lesson, if you look at just by inspection, if you substitute 1 in the equation there, you can see 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. So the left-hand side will be 3. The right-hand side, if you substitute 1, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1, and 1 times 3 is 3. So the left-hand side will be equal to the right-hand side. So this brings us to the end of our lesson, unfortunately, because we don't have much time. We will carry on tomorrow with the revision. Once again, please feel free at any time to contact us in our Twitter account. We are at Africa Teen Geeks. That is our Twitter account there. And of course, this lesson was brought to you by the Lockdown is Cool in partnership with the Sasol Foundation. Until we meet again tomorrow, thank you very much indeed.
Bye, sir.
Sorry, sir. Can I ask something, sir, quickly?
Bye. Yes.
Go
ahead,
is it fine if you do revision on the geometric patterns? I mean geometric stuff, sir, tomorrow, sir.
It's fine. It's fine. Please send me a WhatsApp. Do you have my number? My number is on the screen,
yes,
but I can just give it to you now. Let me give it to you. 082. Or you have it. Yeah. Just send me anything that you have a problem with. We can include it in tomorrow's lesson, in tomorrow's revision.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can just send me any topic is fine. We can look at that tomorrow.
Sir.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, keep well. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Okay.